I'm going to show you how to create a video kind of like this. It's basically going to have a still image that can move with text and scene as well as fades. So I'm going to stop that right now and show you how to make it for free in Microsoft Windows Movie Maker. The very first thing you want to do is download Movie Maker, and you can do that by going in Google search and typing in Windows Movie Maker. It's free. It might already be on your computer, so you can check for it. Just type in Movie Maker into the search on your computer. I'm going to download it here, show you how to do that. It's downloading. You can open it up. Okay. And it's going to install Microsoft Windows Essentials first, but just go through all the install prompts and you will have Microsoft Movie Maker. I already have it on my computer, so I already have it. I don't need to do that. The very second thing you're going to want to do for the picture in the beginning, this part right here, this is a still picture and it fits the exact frame. And I'm going to show you how to put a picture in without there being bars in the video. So the second thing you're going to want to do is to download paint.net. If you don't want to download, or if you're not going to put any pictures inside your video, you can skip this section. But pretty much what you do is you press download now. I'm going to put both the links for Movie Maker and paint.net in the description of this video. You're going to want to go to here, paint.net, and just follow the install prompts for paint.net. And I'll show you where that's going to come into play later. But for now, I'm going to close both of those. This is the image that I found for the beginning of the video, and we're going to get into that in just a bit. Should probably save that for the end, actually. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is open up Movie Maker. You're going to just get a basic setting right here. I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to highlight all of these and then drag them in. And these are the clips that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to expand this just a bit. Now you notice how each of these clips, they read really weird, and this is really confusing at first, but bear with me. Pretty much if I went to the view and I press zoom out, then it's actually a lot easier to understand what's going on here. This is one clip here. This is another clip. This is another clip. These are my 5 clips. Now if I go zoom in, then what it's doing is it's taking the very first clip and it's showing you various frames for that clip. This would be the second clip. It's showing me various frames, but it's kind of confusing to me, so I like to just do all the way zoomed out when I'm doing this. Okay, so basically you can scroll through here, or it's called scrubbing through the timeline, and just press play. Okay, so for the very first thing I want to do is I want to trim some of this because I kind of don't like how he curses at the end of it, so I'm just going to get some action. He goes for it and then it falls and there's nothing really more to see after that, so I'm going to go to edit and then I'm going to set endpoint, and that's going to trim it to that section. And then we get right into the next scene. Something else that's kind of weird right here is if you notice how it goes from the first scene to the second scene, it's stopping. So I want to get rid of all that too, because that's just kind of weird. It's doing it in the beginning too. It's a automatic setup, so I'm just going to scrub slowly to when I get to that point. I'm going to put set start point, and then set start point here. I'm going to go to the third one, set start point, and the fourth one set start point, and the fifth one set start point. And I'm going to go to the very end of these and set end point. Looks like it's actually just going into the next one. Let me check real quick. Yeah, okay, that all looks fine. So basically I would go through all of this video and see what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. And I've already been through all this video, and I noticed that that's the only part I actually wanted to cut out. All of the rest of it looks pretty good. Both of these scenes kind of start out the same, but they end differently, so I know that they're different scenes, and I might want to just so it looks like different things are happening every time and no one gets confused, I might want to set the start point here for that specific one. But everything else looks really good. One thing I don't like about Movie Maker is that you can't do fine tuning with the color. So for example, this is kind of washed out and this is a little bit more rich in color, but both of them are really dark. You can't really tweak it too much, but you can change the brightness, and I'm going to actually change the brightness for this dark one. So if I go to Visual Effects, go to Brightness, then I can increase it. I actually like it really bright. That's actually good. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Whoa, that's super bright. And then this one. And this gets really dark. Maybe it needs to be... Whoops. Yeah, there's no way around it. It's going to start off really, really bright in the very beginning. So maybe I just want to cut that part. Set start point. So that's basically cutting and brightening. So we've covered, so far, we've covered how to put it inside, how to brighten, and how to trim. You can play around with the speed settings if you want, but I'm just going to leave it because this is supposed to be a normal video, and video stabilization can help, but I actually like the shaky movements. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to want to do is I want to create a title for the beginning of this, and basically what you do is you go to Home and you can click Title, and it will create a background, a dark background, which you could change it to another color if you want, and then it'll create a caption. I'm going to press delete right here, and instead of pressing title, I'm going to do caption, and it will just do the caption part of it instead of the background. If you I just clicked on the text and pressed delete, by the way. If I went to credits, then this is going to actually create a scrolling credit. So if I was to play this, it plays like that. And you can play that for the end. For me, I just needed caption, and it looks like I was just over here and it created that caption, but I can just move it right over here. And I'm going to name this and say Super Bowl 2013. Right here, I'm going to change the setting of this, and you can pretty much move this wherever you want, but I like it down here. And then if you hit this, then you can get the different setting sizes. I actually really like it like that. And I want to actually change the color, so if you click this A right here in the middle, it's going to give you a different color, and I want to go for a more gold color, so I went to define custom colors, and okay, that's good. And I want to create an outline, so you go all the way over here and you go to outline size. I'm choosing narrow, and I want it to be dark gray. All right. Next, I'm going to make this text do something. And if I click that down arrow in the text section, I have these different options where it fades in, flies in. All right. So I'm just going to do a fade. And then I'm going to fade all of these scenes together. So if I go to, under this video tools, if I go to the edit section, no, it's the animation section, sorry. I can click this drop down and choose from these various fades. It looks like, oh, hold on. Okay, so basically the fade is happening where this black line is, and I don't have a lot of options from going from nothing to this, but if I go to the second one, I have a ton of different options because I'm fading from one scene to the other. So for example, that's what this one would look like, or so you can play around with these various things. I actually have been through most of these, and I really like the fades, the blurry fades, and that one's kind of cool, but I'm actually going to go with the blurry fades. And then I'm here where I just applied it between these two. I'm going to go apply to all. So now it's fading among each of these. The very last thing I'm going to do for this, so I have most of my movie already complete. At the very end, I'm going to add a title section, and it looks like it put it right in between this. I want to go to the very end, so I just dragged. I'm going to delete this text by pressing delete, and I want this to only last for 2 seconds. So I'm going to go to edit duration 2. Okay, so that's only going to last 2 seconds. And that's another thing that you can do if, for the, I forgot to mention, if you go back to animations, you can change these durations. I actually really like the default 1 minute 50, or 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, seconds, sorry. Okay, so the very next thing you're going to do, if you want, I wanted to do this because it's kind of boring just starting off like this. I wanted to start with a picture, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this right here. I found a picture that I really liked in Google, and the best way to find a picture to use for your video is to make sure when you type in anything, make sure you go to, actually if I were just to start this over, start over in Google. Okay, football and grass. If I was to go to images, I'd go to search tools, size, large, usage rights, labeled for reuse with modification. That means that you can reuse this and with modification. And there's also this one labeled for non-commercial reuse for modification. If I'm going to actually use this for commercial use, then I would use this one. That's how I found the large pictures that I can reuse. And the reason why you want large is because it's going to get really pixelated if you choose a low quality picture. And then basically you would open up the image and then right click and go to save image as, and I'm going to save it on my desktop. I've already actually saved this on my desktop. So if I go back to my desktop, it is right here. By putting this in to the video, just right. Hold on, go back. this picture. Yeah, okay. That was confusing. But if I basically put the picture that was right from the internet, it creates these bars, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of those. It looks like the picture that I just put in was one that had already gotten rid of the bars. So there's no way to do this in Movie Maker that I'm aware of. So your best bet is to use paint.net, and it's really easy. Basically, you open up paint.net. I already have it installed. And so I can open with paint.net. If you don't have it installed, I'm going to show you how to install it real quick. You can go to get paint.net, and then you're going to click download. And then there's this button right here, download now, paint.net, and this will install it. It's a pretty easy install. There's no tricks or anything. It's just, if you don't have an unzip folder, that's the only thing that can be kind of tough. But basically, it's pretty simple. And it says it wants me to close paint.net and retry it. And I'm gonna cancel because I actually don't need to reinstall it. So here's the picture. Now this is kind of weird. You're gonna want to go into your video file, and by right-clicking, and then go to Properties, go to Details, and it will say Frame Width and Frame Height. You're gonna want to match the frame width and frame height with the picture. So we got 1920 by 1080 for my picture. I'm going to open this up and then click this selection tool, and it's going to say normal right here. I'm going to put a drop down and go to fixed ratio. This is where I'm going to put 1920 by 1080, and then I'm going to drag click until I get the football. And then I'm going to crop to selection, and then file, save as, and then I'm going to name it something else. New ball. Okay. Close. Now we have our new ball right here. So if I open up Movie Maker again and press delete while selecting this picture, bring it in, it's now the appropriate size. And now I want to make this, I'm going to make this picture have a shorter duration than 7 seconds. You can see that it's 7 seconds long because that's where we are on the timeline, and that's what it's saying here. So I'm going to edit, and I actually want it to be 5 seconds. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this in as the video is starting. Okay. All right, so we have pretty much almost everything in place. I think I want to put a fade in between this. I'm going to open this all the way. Go to animations. We'll get the same blur actually. Yeah, we'll do it. So it's going to blur all the way to black, and then it's going to come up for that beginning part. All right, and I want this picture to pan, and I kind of want it to pan out, or zoom in, but as if we're going to be going toward some action happening on the field. All right, music. This is the last part of this. I want to add some music. You go to this add music thing, and there's a lot of options here, but I actually have some music, and it's really easy. I have it right here. I'm just going to bring it in. All right, very cool. One other thing I want to show you right here is the music really starts right here, and you can see because it's really amplified in the timeline. And that's actually where I want my title to start, because things look really good when they start on a beat. So I'm going to play that part one more time. There's one other thing you can do with music. I'm going to go to under this music option, music tools options. What you can do is you can make it fade in or fade out. I actually want it to fade out fast so that when I go to the very end, it will sound like this. And there's one other thing, if I can find it. Okay, under project, emphasize video will emphasize the video audio. Emphasize music will make the music louder. I actually want to do that. I want to emphasize the music. That's pretty much it. So that's how to make a movie in Movie Maker. Saving your movie. Basically, you can save your movie by clicking any of these, but I'm going to save it to a file so I can upload it to YouTube, Vimeo, or burn it to a DVD. Just click this drop down, Save Movie, and then go down to Common Settings. I'm going to make it high definition. So I'm going to go for high definition display. And I'm going to title it right here. I'm going to name it 2 because I think I already have a video called that. And then save. This is going to render. It takes, I don't know, a minute long for every minute of video. And once this is done, you will have your video. I paused recording so this could load up all the way. All right, it will say your video is now done. You can play it. Let's check it out. Sweet, we did it.